I can see one hand, two. Okay, just two. Can we get more hands? Yeah. Okay, is there anyone who tried and they got an error, or they didn't find out something, or do you have any issue, any doubt, any query that you want to resolve?
Sir, when I went through a website on this stream related topic, I read somewhere there was code saying yield and some value
Yeah.
at the time of placing value in the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So it just places the value in the stream. That's it, or
Right.
does it have any other?
No, it does. It does not have any else to do.
Okay, okay,
And that's great that you went through that website and you got to know about the yield keyword, because in this session, the state management session, uh, yield has have a very significant role. And yep, so let's see how it goes. Okay, and yeah. So can anyone tell me what is state management, or anybody knows, or any definition of state management? Anyone?
Sir, in website development, as far as I know, state management is about remembering what happened or what is the current state and storing those values and using it when needed.
Yes, exactly. The same thing we will do in Flutter as well. So state management is a technique to use and reuse uh, and remember the states which are going through the application. For example, let's take an example of weather forecasting application. And let's say that we have displayed 20 degrees Celsius and some text with that. Okay. And if user navigates to someone, some other page or some other application, let's say that he opened WhatsApp and then he come back on the our application with their forecasting. So if we have implemented state management perfectly and correctly, then we would be able to show the exact state where he left on our application. Okay. And if we didn't manage our state, then after coming back on the application will restart, or application will show some undefined state, so basically user will confuse at what was happened. Okay, so let me come again. What is state management? So state management is a technique. Okay, before that, let me share my screen. So give me few seconds. By the way, is there anyone who has not understood the streams part? Yes, no, okay.
Sir, I wanted to clear my concept if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, basically what we are doing is, let's say we are taking data from through some API or something. We are putting it in a stream or something, and then we will display to the user as and when our convenience or as and when we get the data. Is that the concept of stream, or am I wrong?
Can you come again on that part?
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, let's say I'm getting, let's say, weather data through some API. I'm putting it into a stream, and then at a regular interval, as per my convenience or user's preference, I'm displaying the data of these weather on UI. So that can be one case study where this stream concept can be applied, or am I getting it wrong?
No. That is the correct way, and it totally depends on the user use case, and that is one of the good use case that you have. So yep, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so here we can see that what we have to learn first. What is the state management? Okay, and then why do we need state management? And then different type of state management. Let me share a website to you. I guess this one. So can you see that here the card details are actually shared through my card, and then it is actually passing this particular data to the other list items. Okay, can you see that? In other word, I can say that my list item contains data from the card. Okay, and this card data is actually available for the whole application. To state this one thing, that your data should be available to all of your widgets which are required that data. Also, state management also talks about that whenever you change anything with your data, or with that particular thing, for example, my card, whenever you have any change, other objects or other widgets which were listening to that part should get updated data as well. Okay, I'll share this link with all of you in case you want to go deep, in state management. Okay, so this is just a basic thing, and the most important thing is that that state management uh, is just to manage your states in better way. Okay, as soon as your application becomes very much complex, let's say 60 to 70 pages screen, and then a lot of data is flowing into your application, for example login data, for example cart data, users information, then some other type of features information. For example, if you have notification, then notification data. If you have manage some other data, then that will be flowing to your application, and you need a state management, okay, to manage all those data and as well as state of your application. Okay, so yep, this is okay. So let me know if you are clear with why do we need state management, or I might have confused you something around that. If you think that you understood, please let me know.
Understood,
Okay,
sir.
let me give you one more example. I guess that would be better. So can you say that see that this play button? Okay, when I click on this play button, so it actually starts our slideshow. Okay, and if I press this, so you can see that my page has been changed here. Okay, and let me go back. Let me close this. Okay, can you see that when I came back here on the same application, when I came back from other page, we can see that state has been managed. Okay, we can see that we are not getting this previous one. We were not getting it. We didn't got this previous screen. We got the updated screen. That means the state management has provided the updated values to this page as well as the previous page. Okay, so this is one kind of state management example. But when you go through a complex application which have more than 60 pages and more than 10-12 features, okay, the features may include login information, home page, shopping page, some cart page, order page, purchase page. So in that case, you need a better state management. Okay, you need to manage the states of cart, states of order, states of login authentication. Basically user, if user has already logged in, you should not ask him for email and password again and again. And then what his home page status, his other purchase status. So to manage all those things, we need a state management. Okay, so I guess we are clear with why do we need state management. And let's again come again on what is the state management. So state management here can be a tool, can be can be a descriptive feature which help us to manage all those states in our application. And these states may include page information. These states may include some value information or object information, and this state may hold some other things as well. So it depends on the use cases. Okay. And if you ask me what are the different types of state management that are available, so let me just write down for you. Okay, let me first create an application for. Okay. Let us create state management. Also, this state management is neither required by all the application. Okay, it's totally depends on do you need that state management in your application or not. Okay, so if your application is very complex, then only go for state management. Otherwise, set state streams and features, they are already fine. So yeah, we have a state management. Okay. So the first option which we have is the set state. We have already used the set state, right, to update our states. In counter application, that counter value, that is also a state. Okay. And if we preserve that value, then that is also a way of managing our states in our application. Okay. Then apart from set state, we have provider, we have Mobx, we have qubit, we have riverpod, we have BloC, which we are going to see, and we have these streams as well. Okay, streams. For small racks. Okay, and yeah, we already are aware with the set state, and let me just share you one thing that many of people do not know, that all the other things which you see here, provider, Mobx, qubit, riverpod, BloC, streams, or even other state management, they actually use set state internally. Okay, without set state, any of these things will not work. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to know again if someone have understood the state management part or not. If not, I will come again on that thing right now.
Sir, we can also use file read and write for state management, but that will be very, naive or basic, right?
File read and write will not be very basic, but will be very, I can say, will be not cost
Inefficient.
effective. No, it will be not efficient as well as not cost effective. So getting my point, right? In state management, first thing is we have to store the data. Okay, data or state, right? The data at that present of time is nothing but a state. Okay, for example, when user logs in, okay, at that time we have email ID and password. Okay, and this data is the state of that application. Okay, after that, after logging in, user have homepage data. I mean, right? Home page. So this data is also a state at that particular time. And while purchasing something at that time, if we order something, so order data, that is the state at that particular time. That means every time our state changes, and every time our data for that particular state changes. And to manage all these things, we need a state management. Okay, and then we have all these state management techniques that are provided, right? And also one more thing to know, that out of this, only these two things, okay, which are actually basic thing required by application, are provided by Flutter. Apart from that, all these five things, provider, Mobx, Qubit, Paperpod, BloC, these are actually open source project created by Flutter developers, not Flutter engineers who work in Google, but other Flutter developers like me, Dhrumbil. They have created and shared this with the community. Okay. So yep. So we know that why do we need state management. Also, can anyone tell me what happen? What will happen if we do not use a state management? Can anyone tell me what will happen if we do not use state management?
Sir, in a funny way, it will be like Gajni movie.
Yeah, one. Yeah, that can be also one case. So because you will, the application will not remember everything, right? Also, also, application will have a lot of issues with performance, and UI rendering, then data storage, okay, and then also page management. Why it will have a UI performance issue? Because if you have, if you have not managed your state, that means there will be lot of open data that will be flowing. Okay, open data, and by open data I mean, for example, after logging in, you do not need this email ID password, right? You have already logged in, you don't need that email ID password. And if your application have still holded this particular data, that means your application is actually abusing your RAM storage, right? It is not using RAM effectively, and that's why you will have a performance issue, because you will not have enough RAM to work with your application. And then with the UI rendering as well. Okay, so with the UI rendering, what will happen? So let's say on a particular page, home page data, let's say that you have 6 API calls, right? And if you not manage the output of these 6 API calls, your application's UI will re-render everything every time, and this is how your UI will see some glitches. Okay, your user will see some glitches, that application is stopping for few milliseconds and then restarting again, something like that. And data storage. Okay, for example, order data. So let's say that you did some order. Okay, and this will create order creation, right? Then payment will create payment as well, then invoice, and then let's say a few more things. Okay, and if you do not have a state management properly, you may not be able to manage this data as well, because all these data must be stored before, when a user is transacting, he should the application should know which order is being created, is creating at this time. This payment is for which order, this invoice is for which payment and which order, something like that. Okay, and then page management. So let's say that user is on invoice, invoice page. Okay, and if he clicks back, the back button, either he should be going, go on the payment page, or he should go on the order page, or he should go on the home page. So this should also be managed by a state management. Okay, and if you have not managed that, this will also create problems. right? Okay. So let's see what is the block state management. Okay. Everyone is clear with this thing, right? What is the state management? What are the options available with the state management? And then why do we need state management? Okay. So let's go with the block state management. So what is in the block? It is known as business logic component. Okay. And by business logic component, that means block will handle all the logic level component. Okay. And also out of which it will only hold, okay, it will only hold data for business. Can anyone tell me what is the business here? What does it mean by business? Okay, so your business means, for example, let's say that I am, doing a login. Okay, so for login page, the business means, so for the login page, the business is actually to take data from some user, some data from user, for example, email ID and password. Okay, and then to process it. Okay, and after processing, the business should show either home page or error page, okay, or some error messages, okay, or success message, okay, or some other thing, okay. So the by the business means the actual and important things that are happening inside your page, right? Here, the business is not to hold data for keyboard. For example, keyboard is opened or closed. Okay, this is not the business of this login page, and that is why this data will be not held by this block state management. Okay. Similarly, there are a lot of other things. If application is opened or not, what is the RAM status. So basically, there are a lot of things that are present with the application at that particular time, but for the business, that those data are not important. Okay, is it clear with the business part? What is the business here? Okay, and what is the business logic? So logics related to the email ID, password, the process, then displaying messages and pages are known as business logic. For example, to open a home page is a business logic. To show open a error page is a logic. To show error message is a logic. To show success message is a logic. And to process email ID and password is a logic. Okay, I think someone wanted to say something. Okay, and what is business logic component? So business logic component are basically components which are handling these logics. For example, this will be, let's say, one component. This might be another component. This might be another component, something like that. And that is what block is in general. Okay, so that was the meaning of block. Okay, let's see. Let's see how. Wait, okay, let's see how this block works. Okay, we are very familiar with the streams, right? Right, we know streams very well. They are just flow of data, right? And we also know how to work with the stream controller, stream builder, something like that. Okay, and we also know builders. Okay, so now this block is nothing but set of strings. It is nothing but a set of strings, or I can say group of strings that are managing our states management or state management. Okay, but these streams are actually defined in such a way that it does not overload on your application, and it does not uh, actually create a lot of issue or a lot of problems for your application. Okay, so now let's see what are the streams which are available for the BloC. So the first stream is state, and second stream is the event. Okay, so mainly these two streams are available in the BloC and which we use in our state management. This state, can you see here, is the actual state. This event is actually, I can say, an action that changes state. So let's say an example. On login page, okay, the current state would be current state would be initial state, and in initial state, user inputs email ID and password. And after that, login button is pressed. Login button is pressed. Can you tell me what will happen once the user press that login button?
Either we have to show the homepage sort of screen, or we have to show appropriate message if ID or password is incorrect.
Yes. Either we will do something, either we will show something, or something will happen. Okay. That means when this login button is pressed, actually action is initiated. Right? Action is initiated. And when this action is initiated, it triggers BloC to update state. Right? So, for example, let's say for the login page, let's see what are the actions do we have. Okay. First, action is pressing login button, right? So on login button, what we will do? We will say uh, login started, okay, or start login, something like that, right? And after that, let's say that after login, you know, we got some error, and we show user an option to retry again. Okay, so the other option will be retry button. Okay, in this, what we will do? We will just retry login. Okay, and this will be function. This will be function, or I can say actions. Let's talk about login page state. First is the initial state, right, where we take email ID and password from user, and second would be the loading state. Okay, so whenever user clicks on that login button, okay, we show the order to a user that it is in process and please wait for a few seconds. Okay, after that, success state, right, and then failure state. Do we have any other states? Do you think anyone think of that? We can add that here. Initial state, loading state, success state, failure state. Okay, let's take some other state. Something like some other state would be there. Okay, so these are the login states. This is the login actions. Okay, and these actions are actually BloC events. Okay, these actions are known as BloC events in BloC, and these states are actually known as BloC states in uh, BloC in this BloC state management. Okay, And can you see how many options do we have? So right now we can see that we have two options. Okay, and here we have five options. That means from my stream, the stream of login page state, I will get this five data, and from the stream of login page block, we will get these two data, right? That means here we know what will be our states, and we have predefined our states, and at any given point of time, we are in a, I mean, we can say that our application is in success state, or in failure state, or in loading state, or in initial state, or in some other state. Okay, but at any given point of time, we are very confident that what state our application have. Okay, if someone asks me, we are in this stage where we can say that yeah, we have this stage. So basically, it will also reduce the confusion, and it will give you a certainty of your application. It will remove that uncertain of, basically uncertain state of your application. Are you getting that, or should I retry?
Understood, sir.
Re-explain all those things. Okay, can I get that confirmation from someone else as well?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yeah. So once again, in a nutshell, BloC is a state management which uses streams of BloC events and BloC states, right? Whereas BloC events are the actions which are fired from application. BloC states are the stages, or I can say states of your application for that particular page, which are fired from the BloC engine based on the action. Okay, so I guess so. It's time to have a look at BloC. So for that, we will go to a website. What you can do, you can search for Flutter BloC. Okay, so here, or this BloC. Yeah, go to this BloC library.dev. Okay, close this. So this is the actual website. Okay, from where you will get all this information for the BloC. We can say what is the BloC? BloC is a predictable state management library for the Dart. Dart means Flutter, right? You can click on get started, or you know if you want to learn more about BloC, you can see here why BloC, why not other things, some core concepts about this Flutter package BloC and Flutter BloC. If you want to learn how the architecture is working, you can go here. Okay, let me just explain you this small architecture here. So this is UI. Okay, and we can see here the event is flowing inside the BloC, and from the BloC we are getting states again at the UI part. Okay, so we are firing events, we are getting states, we are firing events, we are getting states. Okay, and the from BloC we are doing some other things. For example, we are asking for data, we are getting the data in response. We are asking for data, we are getting some data in response. Okay, and yep, we have some tutorials as well here. You can see we have weather forecasting example as well. Okay, so let's see when we go to, okay, how do we install it? So for Flutter application, so if you're using, if you're using BloC for Dart application, sorry, you can go with this just BloC package. And if you're using Flutter, this BloC into Flutter, then you can go with the Flutter BloC. Okay, and how do we install that? For that, you have to copy this particular thing, Flutter BloC, and then you have to update your object.yml. So here in the dependencies, you can add them, right? They click on this particular button on the top right, which says get packages, or you can go to your terminal and write flutter get. Okay. After it, if you want to confirm that if you have downloaded or not, go to perfect.block. Okay. Search for BloC. You see this BloC here, that means you have successfully downloaded Flutter BloC. Okay. After that, do we have anything else here? No. Okay. So let's try to use this Flutter BloC in our application. Okay. So here what we will do, we will create a login page. Okay. And in the login page, we will try to do login, or I can say we will try to manage states of login page. Okay. So for that, let's prepare some plan. Okay. Let's prepare some plan that my initial page, okay, will be login page, and next page will be home page. Similarly, data here. So for the data, here for the login, I have email and password. Okay, and we will get that from text input. Okay, and here actions. For the actions, we have first login action, and second we have retry log. Okay. One more question. Have we done navigator.push? I guess yes, right? Do we know navigator.push?
No, sir, I think not.
Okay. So let me just explain that in very short amount of time. So there is one option, or I can say one thing in Flutter, that is navigator. Okay, which help us to navigate between pages. Between pages. Okay, and here in navigator we have few actions or a few functions. For example, push. Push is for to add a new page. Okay, add a new page, or I can say move forward. Okay, and we have pop, that means remove a page, or I can say move backward. Okay, so we'll try to use these functions as well. Okay, and then what else we have? Okay, and I guess that is it. So let's try to implement our login page BloC. Okay, first we will have void main, right? And void main will have run app. Okay, run app will have material app, and material app will have a home page. So basically home, where the application will land. And for the home, we have to create a page. So I can say stateful. So basically I'm creating a stateful class of login page. Okay, and here I can have login page as a home for material app. Okay. Similarly, we have login page. I should also have. Okay, wait. Do you want me to write all this code in one page, or you want me to create different files? My choice is to go with different files.
Yes, sir, different files.
Different files. Yeah, that's great. So let's create a folder for BloC, and let's create a folder for UI, right? And this UI will also have folder for login, right? And this login will have a file login page dart. Okay. This UI will have one more folder homepage. And this homepage should not be in this login. Let's do it from here. Just a moment.
Sir, for homepage, we need to give extension .dart.
Yeah. So here for the home, in the homepage page, we also need a homepage dot file. Okay. So yeah, in the BloC as well, we need two folder, login, and let me create another folder from yeah, new folder. After login, I think we should have a home page, right? Yeah. So let me explain you my structure. So you can have your own structure as well. This is one of the structures created by me in my team at Best Money, that we will always have similar BloC structure as the BloC structure and the UI structure will look very similar to each other. For example, if you have a folder of homepage in BloC, that means you will have a folder of homepage in UI. If you have a folder of login in the UI, that means you will have a folder of login in the BloC as well. Okay, so at any given point of time, I know that if I am changing something in the login page, then I have to go into BloC/login page only. So basically, login folder to do other changes related to that login page. Okay, so okay, so let's create login page here. Let me cut and paste this particular code of login page from here to this page. Okay, and we can update the imports here. Let's import login page here. Page is imported. It is showing can't be assigned to a parameter widget. Why? Okay, we have to import the material here. Import material.dart. Okay, and error will go away. Okay. Similarly, in the home page, we will need a state. Let's say stateless. We need stateless. Example, we are not showing anything else here, so we can have a stateless. And here, I can have a material, and in container, I can have a child of text. It says home page. Okay. So let's close home page and let's work on our login page. In the login page, we will have scaffold, and here we will have app bar. App bar and title will be text login. I guess text is supported. Yep. Log. And then we will have something in the body. So in the body, we will have a column, right? We all are familiar with all these widgets. Okay. In the column, we will have text for email, then text for password, right? Also, we will have a text input here. So for wait, for text input, we use text field. Okay, no autocorrect. Okay, we will use another text field for the password. Okay, so here we can see that we have an app bar with the login. We have for text with email, and then we have for text field with the email for the email. We have text with the password, text field with the password. We also you can have style. Wait, I can have hint decoration. So I have an option of decoration in the text field, and here in this decoration, I will use input decoration, and I can also put hints over here. So hint text is email, and here let me just copy and paste. Similarly, here I will have a hint text as password. Okay, let me run this application and let's see what do we get. Flutter run my fnd Chrome. All right. Okay, till now, is there anything which we have not understood?
No, sir.
Yep. So basically, we are just creating folders for the login and homepage, either for the BloC and for the UI. And in the login page, we have created our UI similar. Wait, let me share here. We have created our UI like this. We have login app bar. Then we have login text field. So you can see that I can enter something here. I can input output. You know, so basically I can input something, and let me make it center. Okay, I have a center widget. I will use restart. Can anyone tell me why it is not centered yet? Any guess? That was main exercise. So as soon as I do main, it will be in center. Okay. Let us also create a bottom navigation button. Do we know bottom navigation bar?
No, sir.
Okay. So bottom navigation bar is actually a widget. Okay. So basically, if you have WhatsApp, no WhatsApp, no. If you have an Instagram, okay, if you have used it, you will see in the bottom you get that 5 options: profile, post, homepage. You know, so that those are actually possible with the bottom navigation bar. So here instead of bottom navigation bar, I will just use elevated. But child would be so bottom navigation bar. This particular property of scaffold will put any widget which you pass here at the bottom. Okay, it can be the bottom navigation bar or it can be anything else. So I'm just using a normal elevated button. So where text is login, and I have to pass on pressed function. Okay, if I restart it, you will see a button at the bottom. Can you see this button? I think it is
Yes, sir.
very small. Okay, so yeah, that was just a a normal page. Okay, let's do more thing. Let's now work on our actual BloC. Okay, so for the BloC, as we know that we need, okay, where is that our BloC? Not this one. State management. Yeah, yeah. So for the BloC, okay, I need a state and I need event, right? So for the login BloC, I will have a file known as a login state dot and another file login event dot tar. Okay, I can. So now it's time to create a login state. So I can have a class of login state. Okay, something like that. And based on this, okay, this login state will be an abstract class. Okay, and based on this abstract, so all of my other login state things will actually implement these abstract classes. Okay, so for example, I have how many states I have? These states, no? Let's copy and okay. So my first class will be class initial state extends login state. Okay, why I'm doing this particular thing, you will understand in just few minutes. Okay, so my all other classes will look something like this. Okay. Loading state, success state, failure state. Okay, and in the login event we will do same thing. We will have a class of login event. Okay, this login event will also be an abstract class because this is the parent class. Okay, this login event class is the parent class for all the login events. Same here. This login state is the parent class of all these login states. Okay, for the login I have what actions do we have? I guess we have login and retry. So we have these two options at the login. So I have class something like, okay, we have not initial. Then okay, take it. So we'll have two classes here. One is do login or something, start login, and it will extend the login event. Login event. There will be retry login event that will extend login. Okay. Also, I mean, do login, we need two things. One is username. Okay, I can say email. Another is password, right? I can have a password. So let's create a constructor for this. There is this dot email and this dot password, right? Same thing we need for the retry login as well. Okay. Let's do not have this. So for the retry login, we just have a we have to manage our state where we will retry login from our. So basically, we have to store this email ID and password out somewhere, and we will do a state management. Okay, we have login event, we have login state, we have login page. What else is missing is the BloC engine. I can say login BloC engine where the actual things will happen, where API call will happen, where all the computations will happen. So for that, I will create another file known as login block dot. So this is actually engine known as login block. Okay, so it will also be a class login block which extends block. Okay, it will extend block, and this block will come from this package. So we have to import this package out here. Okay, if I do not import this package here, it will give me an error. So I'm adding that package here. Okay, and here you can see that we have to implement few other things, few other functions. Okay, so if I click on quick fix here, okay, so you can see that we have this login blocks, okay, which has some initial state. So instead of this, I can do something like this: initial login state. So it should be initial login state. Okay, the name should be here. The login should be inside. Success login state, failure login state. So in the block, you can see that what I am doing here. Okay, so basically what I am doing here, I am giving some data to this BloC engine via its constructor. So what I'm saying that here it is my constructor. Okay, and my initial state will be login initial state. Sorry, initial login state. Initial login state will be my initial state. Also, we all are familiar uh, with generic part. That means let's make this block a generic block. So this block will have an event of login event, and it will have a state of login state. Okay, so this is how we tell BloC that this particular block will only have login event and login state. Okay, also apart from that, we will have stream of state. So let's go inside and find out that particular function. Oh, sorry, in the block. If you go inside the block, you will see this stream controller, stream subscriptions. Can you see that? You will see a lot of strings happening over here. This add a function will add an event. Okay, so yep, we have to find a function of, I guess, on. Okay, so there are lots of function, and if we do override, can you see here? Control O, command O. So basically we have to implement a function. Let's find out that function. Okay. For that, notice I want login. Okay, and then go over the login block. I don't want to use this one. Neither this. I want to use the other one. Okay, just give me a moment. So basically, there are lots of other, you know, uh, updates in the blog, and the newest update is this image. So you can name it here directly, and you can update your functions out here. So on each particular state, which one will be fired, and basically I didn't like it, and that's why I used the old approach, or I can say the traditional approach that I am going to show you. And you can also try out this one. So it is very simple. So in the basically in the constructor, you have to say on which function or which thing has should be called. So here on username change function is called, and here you will get all the data, and then you can emit your state. Okay. Yes. So this is the function which I wanted, and that looks like this. So let me copy and paste it here. Yes. So we have a function, okay, that says map event to state, and which have this login event, which is coming inside, and you can see that we are emitting a login state. So we are taking a login event, and based on event, we are emitting a login state. Also here, we can check which particular event is given to us. So here, the if event is equals to which event we have, start login event. Okay. So also we can use event is. So if event is start login event, then what we will show? We will show loader. Okay. Show loader, do API call, and show status. Right. First we will show loader, and to show loader, we have to yield. Okay. We have to yield a state. Okay. Because it is a stream of data. Okay. And that is why we cannot use a return keyword here. Okay, and because we cannot use the return keyword over here, and that's why we will use yield keyword. So this yield keyword is actually used with the async star. So you can see async star keyword here. So whenever you use async star keyword, you go with the yield function or yield keyword. So here we will first yield our loader state. So we have login, loading login state. Okay. Then what we will do, we will do some API call. Okay, for this API call, we will do just a normal simulation. So basically, we will do await and future dot delay. So basically, we are just adding a duration, delay of 3 seconds here to simulate that we have called a login. Okay, we can add a const here. And after that, we will yield success login page, success login state. Okay. Are you getting this? What we have done here? So this is a function, okay, that we are running, that is map event to state, okay, and this function takes login event here, okay, you can have a look. And based on this login event, so let's say that user have fired show login event. So if my event is show login event, then I will call this function. I will first show loading login state. So basically I will show loading, and after 3 seconds, I will show success login state. So let's see what happened. So here in our login page, okay, we have this center. Okay, now we have to wrap this center, or we have to update this center with another widget that is known as BloC builder. Okay, so here we have a BloC builder, a builder function, which gives us context and state. Okay, and based on the state, we show updates to user. For example, in a normal case, we will show. So, yeah. So basically, every time we will show that's login page. But if our state is loading login state, at that time we will show loader. So we will show circular progress indicator in the center. In the center. Okay. And if we have else if we have state is, if we have a success state, okay, success login state, at that time we will show something like some text, like login successful, something like that. Okay, so let's try it out. Let's restart it. Okay, before that we also have to say and we also have to give out the blocks. Okay, so blocks basically blocks to this BloC builder. So you can see that we have a block option here. Okay, and we also have to make this BloC builder, this particular thing, as a generic. Okay, so first let's make it generic. So it will have a login block, and it will give us basically it will take a login state. Okay, and here for the block I will use login block. Okay, can you see here the block is the login block, and in the BloC builder I'm specifying the block here. So if you go inside it, okay, you will see this one, the BloC builder base. So this is a block and this is a state class, right? That is why I have given the block here first and then state class. So let's restart it again. Okay, if you go here, okay, we have some error. We could not find the provider state. Okay, so we are seeing this particular error because we have not provided this block through a block provider. Okay, so what is a block provider? Let me add that over here as well. So block provider is an object, or I can say is a class. Is a class which provides block to whole apps. Okay, to whole app. Okay, so basically we have to use block provider to provide a block to whole app, and for that we have to wrap this home page with the multi-block provider. Multi-block provider. Okay, here in the child we will give a login page, okay, and in the provider, so provider list of BloC providers. Okay, so where in the create I will have a context, and this function will ask for a block. You see login block. Okay, I know this particular thing look pretty complex right now, but it is not very complex, and I will explain you in few minutes. Okay, so also here in login block, let's try this one. Block dot block provider dot of context. Okay, and here we will say login block. Why is it creating error? Can't be assigned to a parameter block. Okay, is it block of context? Okay, let me clarify it. Just a moment. Okay, somewhere else I guess we have to use. So login block equals to block provider dot of context. Okay, and here for the off, we have to use login block. Yeah. Okay. So this particular line, okay, it actually retrieves the block which was provided earlier. Let's see if our issue has been resolved or not. Okay, so yeah. So here in this block, we will pass this login block. Should be performing a hot restart. Is it restarting? Yes. Okay. So yeah, let me explain you what just happened over here. Okay, after that we will continue. So yes, let me go to main dot dart. Okay, so in the main dot dart, can you see instead of just providing our login, this login page, right now I have wrapped this login page with the multi-block provider. So what does multi-block provider? It is actually the starting point of managing our state. So earlier I said that we have to provide data to each and every place wherever it is required, right? So this is a way to provide data. So in this multi-block provider, I will initiate my data here. So you can see I have initiated the login block, and then I have reused the same login block here. So you can see I have not created a new instance, but I asked a block provider to provide me a block of login block using the context, right? So with the reference of context, I have told you that context plays a very major role. Okay, so here it is helping us to retrieve this login block. Okay, and here in this multi-block provider, we have a parameter providers, which is actually a list of providers. So you can see it is a list, this array. Okay, and in this list, you can see we are passing providers. And this is how we write providers. So we create provider object here, and in the provider object, we have this create parameter, which is nothing but a function. Yeah, we can see. Okay, and which gives us the context, right? Based on that context, we actually store this login block. Okay, and yeah, so in front of this context, we actually return our login block. Okay, that means this block provider, okay, using this block provider, I am passing login block to multi-block provider so that I can retrieve it later. Okay, so you can see I am retrieving it. Block provider. Now, we know that, let me go to main.dart. Yes, we know that we have to initiate an action, okay, on the login page, right? We have to initiate an event, okay, so that we get some other states here. And how do we initiate a state? Initiate an action. So here we can see that we have this elevated button, login. So we can see this login button here in the bottom. In the on-press function of this login button, what we can do, we can write this login block. So basically what we will do, login block dot add, okay. And here I can add an event of login event, start login event, okay. And I will have to pass email ID and password. So let me pass email ID something like that. Password is secret, okay. And let's restart our application and let's see what happens when we click on this login button, okay. As soon as I click on this login button, is it happening, something happening or not? Login block. I guess something happened. Ad was called without registered event handler. Make sure you register event handler. Make sure you register handler via on start login event. Wait, it is asking me to use the new way. And okay. So let me first actually show you the old way, then we will go with the new one. So for that, we have to update our pic. Yeah, if I restart it. Okay, so there are two ways, the old way and the new way. So first I will show you with the old way, and then we will see some new ways. Okay. Okay, it is restarted. Yes, and if I click on this login button, so we can see for a few seconds, we will see this loader, and after that, we are seeing login successful. Okay, and how is it happening? It is happening because whenever I click on wait, with the login page, yeah. Whenever I click on this login button, okay. So at that time, we are adding a start login event, and when we add a start login event in login block, okay. At that time, inside this login block file, you can see this function map event to state. So what it does, it takes that login event here, okay, and then it does all the things. It first give us this loading login state, okay, and we know that on the login page we have managed this particular state. So we are saying that when our state is loading login state, at that time we will show circle progress indicator, right? Similarly, so yeah, after 3 seconds, I am sending another state that is success loading state. So after 3 seconds, we are seeing a text of login successful. Whew. So yeah, this is how the block works. Okay, the old block works. Okay, let me know if you want to see the new block.
No, sir, it's fine.
No, let me explain you how new block works first, okay? Because I guess they have forced us to use new block, and that is the issue. So, yeah, if they have forced us, and if you are teaching that to any student, then yeah, you should actually know how does that work, okay? So I'll not go much deeper, but I will show you how that works. So yes, so at that for that what we have to do, whatever we are doing. So instead of yield, so here in the login block, we are using yield. Okay. Instead of yield, here the emit is actually being used. Okay. And instead of this particular whole function, so one function, they are using different functions here. Okay, and in the function, you pass the event. Okay, and you give this emitter, and this emitter will emit a function, a state. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me copy this one. So do we need no. Yeah, here we need this on function. Okay, so we have to register this particular event with the on keyword. Okay, and then we have to pass this function where our function will be called. So let's do one thing. Let's copy it. Okay, and let's create a function of on start login event. Okay, and with we need emitter here, but here we need emit and event. So here we need event and emit. Okay, and how does emit works? For that we have to use emit and state dot copy with. Okay, emit first we have to update our puff pick. Yeah, yep, from 7.3 it will be 8.0. We have to update it. Okay, here in login block, okay, we can see all these things go away. We get this emit dot call. I guess it was called. Let's check again. No, in the emit function we have to pass our state. So in the emit, I will pass my first state, that was loading login state, and then we will use await. And to use await, we have to write async, right? We have to write async in a function, and here for the await, after await, we will write feature dot delayed for duration of 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Okay. So that we will emit success login state. Okay, and we don't need this function then. Okay, instead of here we will write on. Okay, so on here we have to write this function, but yeah, on the event we have to update it even. Okay, event and event we are also already passing it. So we will not do this. Instead, which we will just say that this is the part of start login event. Okay. So yeah, this is the new type. So here in the constructor, we have to use on keyword. On the on keyword, we have to make it generic of your event type. And after that, we have to pass a function which will handle this event. Okay. So here we can see this event is having handled here. First, we are emitting a loading state. And so instead of yielding, right now we are emitting. Okay. And here you can see that we are waiting for 3 seconds. After that, we are emitting a loading state. Okay, and let me restart it again. Our function, our okay, yeah, our application is being restarted, and let's try by clicking the login. So you can see after login, it is showing loader for 3 seconds. After that, it is showing login successful. So yes, this is how we do BloC. Uh, okay, BloC state management. Okay, it's already 4 p.m., but I want to revise it again. Do you want to me re-explain all those things again? Hello.
Sir, to be honest, all the, I mean, whole session recording is shared with us. So we will revise from that video.
Yes, you will do that. Okay, so
But
give me
to
2 more
summarize,
minutes. Yeah. So yeah, give me 2 more minutes. I will summarize it. So yeah, I'm very sure that we are able to understand this particular thing. What is login page? What is login state? What is login events? Okay. So yeah. So here, in addition of this, we have multi-block provider. Okay. Multi-block provider takes a child. That child is nothing but a home that we were providing in the Metal app. Okay. And inside this multi-block provider, we have a provider parameter. Okay. This provider's parameter is nothing but a list of block providers. Okay. And block provider is a way of storing, okay, your blocks here. And you can ask me that why we are storing block here and why we are not doing something else. So it is because we might have multiple pages who are using this block. Okay, we might have auth page, we might have a log sign up page, we might have some other page. Okay, so via this block provider which we used here, okay, we can provide this block to the whole application. Okay, so we can see that in the login page here in the build method by using context object. Okay, we have retrieved our login block. So you can see block provider dot of context login block, and you are getting this login block in this object. Okay, then there is a block builder which help us to manage all of our states. Okay, so this block builder will help us to manage states and to show a UI based on those states. Okay, so you can see this block builder is a type of login block and login state. That means it will take login block and it will give us login state. This block builder have a builder function. Okay, it is similar to all other builder function where we the first one is state context and second one is a state. Okay, and here we have we can compare the states here, right? Also we can pass data in the state. Okay, so here this is the class. Okay, what we can do is say that a string message, okay, is the object in this success login block page. And let me just create this one. And from the login block here, if you send any message, you can send a message from this success login state, and you can use this message object here. So what I can do, I can just do state dot, okay, I can get this message object here. Okay, we can see that state dot message. So you can use this message over here. Okay, and in the end, if you don't have any other state, we are showing our column. Okay, and yeah, and at the bottom we have bottom navigation bar which is doing login block dot add. So this is how we add a function. Okay, sorry, add an action to our login block. Okay, and as soon as we add action over here, our login block comes into picture. Okay, and it start acting on behalf of that event. Okay, and here in the login block we can see that we have a class of login block which extends a class block. Okay, and which is the type of login event and state. So this is just a generic type. Okay, to tell block that which type of event I will take and which type of states I will emit. Okay, and this is the constructor. After creating this constructor, we are saying that on start login event, call this particular function. Okay, and this function will have event and emit automatically coming here, right? So this is how we are making it. And so we know that this is the type of start login event. Okay, and whenever we get start login event, we will first show login event, login state, right? Sorry, loading state. And after 3 seconds, we will show a message. Okay, so for the last time, let's rerun our application and see it if we get this message or not. So after clicking login for 3 seconds, we will show loader, and after that we can see that we got our message. So this is how we are managing our state. This is how we are passing data from this block to our page, right? And here, since we know that this login event have data of email ID and password, so we can use those as well. So for example, if I do event dot, so you can see that I have email and event dot password. So you can see that I have this password. And if I restart it again and click on this login button, so we can see that email ID and password is printed out here. So this is how we can pass data from UI to BloC, and then we can resend data from BloC to UI. Okay, any doubt out here? Yes, no.
Sir, we need to process what you taught, sir.
Yeah, right. So, yeah. So what I can ask you to go and retry the whole thing, the whole blog thing. Okay, and just remember the basic concept. This is the basic concept. From UI, you give event to BloC, and from BloC, you give event to states. Okay, and then if you know the purpose of state management, why are we using it, and then if you learn a basics of the streams, so basically you can see, right, you can see the streams in action. So we are passing streams of events and we are then sending back streams of states. Okay, so if you understand these things, the things will be pretty easy for you. And yes, yeah, you will take it will take some time to understand this whole state management, but yeah, it is not very hard. So yeah, I can I can guarantee that it is not very hard. Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, that is it from this session. And if you have any other questions, we will again meet tomorrow and you can ask me, or you can send me message on Twitter, LinkedIn, or even my WhatsApp. Okay, and I will try to help you out. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you guys. Yep. And please try this state management. This is one of the hard thing I can say into Flutter development. But once you understood all these smaller things, it will be very easy for you. So you can see in front of you guys, I tried the new BloC and that went very easy and basic for me. And it will happen for you all as well if you do some experiment and if you try it. Okay, yeah, we can wrap up our session here and can stop the recording as well. And
Yeah.
yep, thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys for being here for more minutes. Yep, thank you.